Hi guys! Happy Wednesday! You guys, it's halfway. We have made it halfway through the week. Everything looks really dark. It is really dark here, granted. It is pouring down rain and the sky is absolutely dark, but it looks really dark in this room. My apologies for that. I have lots of lights on. I'm not really sure why, but that's okay. As long as you can see me, we're all good. Hi, Sylvia. Oh my gosh. Stacia, so glad to see you. Hi, hi. So, as I was saying, we have made it. Hi, Kirsty. We've made it through the middle of the week. You guys, it's the last week of October. October has flown by. Absolutely flown by, like in the blink of an eye. And I'm not mad at it because I didn't get to do my normal Halloween haunt this year. And so my kind of attitude about October has been like, the sooner we can get it over, the better. So I don't have to like dwell on what I'm not doing this year because it's kind of depressing and sad. So come on, November. I'm ready. I'm ready. Can we just think about Thanksgiving now? Halloween is just depressing for me since we're not doing our big event. But you guys, there are fun things to look forward to. There were some great beads that were released this month for Halloween. All of the Nightmare Before Christmas beads came out. They were so much fun, and there are several of those that are still available. So if you go over to the website and you click on the Nightmare Before Christmas, the pull down menu, there is still plenty to choose from there for that. So, you know, you can still get your last minute stuff. Nightmare Before Christmas is great because you can use it as dual holidays, right? You can use it for Halloween, but you can also use it for Christmas. And I've actually seen some really awesome Nightmare Before Christmas trees, not Halloween trees, but actually Christmas trees, like the real green Christmas tree. And they're really, really cool. So just something to think about if you're thinking of doing something different with your Christmas tree this year. That would be kind of fun and quirky and different. So, oh yes, Ricky says fast approaching DNP. That is a really, that's, thank you for that segue. Sometimes I'm not great at the transitions, and you just gave me the perfect opportunity to talk about Destination North Pole. So I was actually reading through a friend of mine, Wendy. You guys are all friends. So if I call you a friend and you don't like know me on like a one-on-one basis, know that I mean that in the most loving way and not like the most creepy way ever, okay? So I was reading through some posts on the Secret Stash group, and Wendy had posted that she was really looking forward to Destination North Pole because she's been through a lot this year. And I think all of us can kind of identify with that, right? There has been so much trauma this year, and good things. There has been silver lining to certain things, and I just feel like we've been kind of through the ringer as a group this year, not Jesse James Beads group, but as a group as far as the human race is concerned. And Wendy put it very, very eloquently. I don't even know what she said, but I mean, I do know what she said, but I don't know the exact words. But she had said that this was her virtual vacation. You know, Destination North Pole was going to be her virtual vacation. That, you know, and I feel like a lot of people are looking at it that way because, hi, Miss Catherine. It's cold and wet here too. I feel like a lot of people feel that way because Christmas this year, the holidays this year, Hanukkah this year, New Year's, all of those things are going to look very different. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the only time we're ever going to have to go through the holidays in this weird capacity. And I am thankful for Destination North Pole because it's going to give us all an opportunity to kind of take our mind off of all of the things that are not this Christmas, right? Holiday gatherings are going to be a little different. Parties are going to be a little bit different. I mean, just everything in general is going to be different. And fingers crossed, we never have to go through it this way again, and the holidays will be back to normal next year. But for the time being, we're making the best of it. And Wendy put it perfectly that this is her virtual getaway. And so if you are still on the fence about Destination North Pole, let it be your virtual getaway for Christmas. It's set up so that it is over 3 weeks time and you don't have to commit to an entire week. There's a day this week that's full of classes, a day the next week that's full of classes, and then the next week. And there are tons of beads. You guys got to see a tiny little sneak peek of just some of the beads that are included in the shipment of fun things that you're going to get for Destination North Pole. So if you're still on the fence, go back and watch the unboxing, and then come on over and join us. We are really looking forward to it. We're counting down the days. It's coming on fast, and it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of you are looking forward to it. So if you are, if you're still on the fence, come do it. Come take advantage. We're going to have a good time, and it's going to give you guys something fun to think about, right? Other than the weirdness. All right, so that's the last I'll say about that today, but I do want to mention the weekly deals, so let me pull those up real quick, and the same with summer camp too. Yeah, totally. So let's see. Weekly deals, 30% off purple, green, black, and orange, and the code for that is ZOINKS, so definitely take advantage of that. Even if you're still not feeling like, if you're like, okay, I've already done all of the Halloween things, that's totally fine. You can still use purple, green, orange, and black in a million different ways, right? So, you know, take advantage of that one. There is also free shipping right now, $139 cart minimum, and there's no code needed for that. And let me just kind of segue into our Magical Mystery Bead Box unboxing today, because if you use the 6-month subscription for the Magical Mystery Bead Box, Beatbox is pretty cool too. But if you use the free shipping on that, then you don't have to pay for the shipping at all for the 6 months, right? So the box is just going to come to you, and there it is. Super, super cool. So don't forget that part, right? You can use the free shipping on the 6-month subscription to the Magical Mystery Bead Box. And last but not least is a free connector with your $29 cart. That's a really cool one too. You can never have too many connectors, and the code for that is Get Connected. And there are no spaces with that, right? It is pouring down rain here, Colleen. Well, you're just right down the road, so of course it's, you know what the weather is. All right, so that's what we've got on our plate for today. Unboxing the Magical Mystery Bead Box for the month of October. Okay, now let me just start out by saying I know what's in this box, and you guys, this box is heavy, and heavy on the beads, like really, for really. There are an absolute ton of beads in this box, and you guys, what a treat. What a treat, right? You can use these beads in a million bazillion different ways. A million bazillion beads, million bazillion different ways to use them. So I'm looking forward to getting into this guy and showing it. Funny here too, says Kathy. Right? What's up with that? All my local friends, you guys. Kathy's like, no, it's snowing here. Okay, so we are going to unbox, and then we're going to do a little design on the fly. Pat says the beads are absolutely beautiful. I know the color palette. And it is such a fun color palette, and you guys, it can be translated in so many different ways. So I'm excited to get into it. So let me start with the card, and then we'll get down and we'll look at all these beads. Okay. Alrighty, so opening up my box here, using my scissors. Hi, Patty, that's okay. We're glad you're here. All right, so we've got, it has the mystery machine on it. I just can't tell you how fun that is. I love it. Okay, so this is the color palette, right? Mystery Ink Magical Mystery Bead Box for October. I feel like this is kind of the perfect theme for October because it's not necessarily Halloween, and it's not, I mean, you don't have to do Scooby-Doo with it. These are colors that are just, the color palette is so good, so nostalgic and fun, right? So that's the front. You get all of these colors. This is what we're going to be looking at, right? And then you get your, I love the scene on the back. Look how cute that is. I love it. So you get your what's inside card. It's got everything that is on the inside of this box. We're going to go through it one at a time. You guys, the colors are just so good. So good. I really, really love it. I have a niece and nephew who are absolutely obsessed with Scooby-Doo. And so this makes me extremely happy because it's going to make some of the things I make are going to make them really happy. Colleen says, I put all the beads in one bowl. I'm so uncultured. I love that you consider that uncultured. I wish I could show you my bowl. I have a bucket, okay? A bowl is one thing. I have a bucket. All right, let's get down to it, shall we? You're just so uncultured. Jeez, Colleen, get yourself together. All right, guys, Magical Mystery Bead Box. Here we go. All right, so what's inside? So much. So much inside. So the first thing on our list is the Zoinks bead strand. And you guys, the colors, I just can't get over the color palette. It makes me so happy. It's absolutely ridiculous how it just makes me smile from ear to ear. Right? Look at the colors. They're so whimsical and fun. I love it. This strand is absolutely gorgeous. So you've got several bohos here, so you could break this up if you wanted to and use the bohos as pairs. You've got a pair of the green, you've got a pair of the orange and a pair of the white. So you could break those up. Those white bohos are phenomenal with that iridescent purple on them. I just love that. I think those are really super, super cool. And then you've got the clay spacers in here, and the clay spacers, 3 of them, like in the little grouping, 3 of them are round, one of them is square. I love the square ones. You guys know I love square everything. Square beads, there's square beads on here. So there's like so much for me to love in this strand. I think the colors are probably the coolest. I mean, it's just, you can't look at that and not smile, right? That color palette it just makes me happy. Right? And it's not over the top Halloween. It's not even over the top Scooby-Doo. It's just a beautiful selection of bohos put together. And I really kind of feel like, for me personally, I'm going to put this one in just on some elasticity and wear it as a bracelet just as is, because I love it just like it is. But you absolutely could break this up and use those bohos on their own. All right, so the next one is Design Element Bead Mix in Fred. Oh my gosh, I love it that there's a bead mix for everybody. Okay, hold on. Let me find Fred. Oh, beautiful. All right, I'm going to dump out. Okay, I'm dumping them out. So Fred's color palette is blue, and you can never have too many blue beads. I'm seriously I'm a huge advocate for blue. Such a calming color, and this one has the pops of orange in it that just makes it really, really super fun. All right, so first thing that I notice, of course, is the gargantuan rondelles in that gorgeous kind of cornflower blue color. Those are fabulous. There's some vintage check in here. There is the pops of the metal through here. These rondelles are amazing. They are clear, but they have that wash of blue running through them. Then, of course, you've got your miracle beads. They look like they're glowing from within. Those beautiful orange, and these are really super cool square orange beads. I've never seen these before. Really, really like that. So yeah, guys, this is a good color palette. This is a good color palette. I'm telling you, we're gonna like hit all of the major colors on the rainbow. The blue is stunning, absolutely stunning. These guys are super, super cool. I can't wait to play with those. So yeah, and I really like these as well. That kind of foggy, milky. That's really, really pretty. Awesome. All right, we've got a lot to go through, so I can't ooh and ah over them too long. Just enough for you guys to ooh and ah over them, and then when we're done here, I can ooh and ah over them some more. Because you know I will. You know I will. Oh, Nicole says Scooby. Hold on. Scooby's been her favorite since she was a kid, and her nephew loves Scooby. My niece and nephew do too. My kids, I don't know, they were a SpongeBob crowd. So if a SpongeBob box ever came around, my youngest would be over the moon. But my niece and nephew, like they even have a replica mystery machine. It's just the coolest. It's so cool. Okay, so Design Elements Bead Mix in Daphne. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Come here. I know you're in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, this is so pretty. I love purple too. And I was going through my bead stash last night and I realized I don't have nearly enough purple beads in my life. So I'm all about this. That's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. You've got this beautiful plum purple and it's that funny, it's that real soft stuff. We've talked about it before. I don't really know what the coating is that is on these beads. It's a rubberized kind of coating, but it feels like velvet. It's very satiny and soft. They're so pretty, but it's not a rubber bead. I mean, like it's a real heavy duty bead, but beautiful flowers in here. I love that. Those would look really cool in like a Day of the Dead design. Those would be awesome. Drops, you can never have enough drops and you can never have enough rondelles, which I'm always happy to get. The little baby purple beads in here are awesome. And then the pops of the lime green, I think, is what really makes this super whimsical and fun. I adore this. Love it, love it, love it. Joan says, I probably gave my purple beads to M. I probably did, but I do not have enough purple in my life. And these guys are probably my favorite. So the little bubble ball beads, the stars that are in here, that color is, it's not pink, but it's not purple. It's like, I don't know what color you would call that. I guess some people would call it purple, but it's like a kind of a magenta, but it has a flash of that iridescent green blue. Those are so pretty. So pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think we're going to use some of the beads from this one for our design today. But guys, we're not going to we won't have any trouble choosing beads because this box is packed, absolutely packed full. It's amazing to me how many beads are actually in this box. Like if you sat down and counted each individual bead, could you imagine? All right, so next is the Design Elements Bead Mix in Velma. This is another beautiful one. This is perfect for fall. And guys, winter doesn't officially arrive until nearly the end of December. So there's plenty of time to continue wearing and making gorgeous fall colors. And this is that for sure. Look at that beautiful mix. There is some beautiful red in here, which I am obviously a fan of. But then you've got kind of the burnt orange and you have just the regular orange. You've got this kind of peachy color through here, the antique brass. I absolutely love. Ooh, and these are really cool. So these have, it's like a crackle bead and it has a shift. So it's like an orange kind of purple shift. Those are really cool. I've never seen those before either. I like it. I like it when I get new interesting things that I've never seen. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, fall colors for sure. Let's see. There was a question that I missed. Let me go back. Hold on, guys. I'm too late to order this mystery bead box. You are too late to order it as far as in the subscription, but it is for sale on the website right now. So if you go over to the Jessie James Beads website, it is the very first item that comes up. So even if you don't want to take advantage of the subscription, you can buy this individual box, which is super, super cool. Just keep in mind that all of the Magical Mystery Bead Boxes that are sold individually outside of the subscription service are in limited quantity. So there are not a lot of those. So if you're wanting to grab this one, I wouldn't wait too long on that because there's only a handful of them available outside of the actual subscription. So just always kind of keep that in mind. All right, now what's next? Design Elements Bead Mix in Scooby and Shaggy. Now this is a fun color palette. The brown and the blue, again, another perfect color combo for the fall. We've got plenty of time left for fall. I'm not rushing the winter on here, so lots of beautiful things that can be made with this. Oh, I love that. I love that. Look at the hearts that are in here. Those are beautiful. These check glass hearts, they kind of look like a tiger. They're that gorgeous kind of amber brown color with the stripes through them. That's really, really awesome. You've got these pops of blue that really take it to that kind of whimsical place. And of course, you don't have to mix them together like this if you don't want to. You can use the blues separately. You can use the green separately and the brown separately, but all together visually, it's just so cool and would make a really cool design because the color palette works really, really well. It's just a lot of fun. There are more rondelles in here, which I am a huge fan of. The drops in here are gorgeous. They're kind of like that lime green, but they have that metallic to them. Super, super cool. I love it. The check glass in here is just stunning. This is another really, really beautiful one. Wanda says Jungle Boogie. Yes, I'm totally feeling the jungle vibes with this one. Yeah, for sure. Super, super cool. And we're not even done yet, you guys. We're not even done yet. All right. One of the coolest parts of this box, when I found out these were included, I was so excited. I think this is so cool. And if you guys stay on top of the trends in jewelry making right now, this is something that is all over the place right now, and so cool that Jessie James Beads can offer them. So it is the Let's Split Up and Search for Clues color changing beads. I gotta find them real quick. Guys, these are everywhere. These are everywhere, and I say that they are everywhere as far as like they are everywhere in design, so they are kind of hard to get your hands on. So to be able to have these color changing beads makes me extremely happy. So you guys remember mood rings, right? Well, this is the updated version of mood rings. So check these out. They are like, did you see that? It just changed in my hand. These are so awesome. Look at them. They're turning green in my hand. This is probably the coolest thing that has happened to the jewelry making industry, in my opinion, in a very, very long time. I can't tell you how exciting this makes me. Excited. That's how excited I am. I can't make proper words. I can't English today. How stinking cool. Look, they turned blue into this like deep purpley. Oh yes. I need a whole bucket of these. They're fabulous. They're so much fun. And to get to see them actually change in my hand, that's pretty amazing. They're teal, they're green, they're deep, deep purple like that. I can't stop smiling. I cannot stop smiling. These are so stinking cool. I want more of these. Sarah, these are the coolest thing ever. Like, it's one thing to see them on paper. It's a totally different thing to have them in your actual hand. Can you believe that, you guys? Like, maybe I'm just a simple person, but like, that's the coolest thing ever. I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to sit these to the side, not far away though, because I want them soon. I want to play with them very soon. Okay, sorry you guys. Next is the Custom Shell Trio in Mystery Machine. This is so fun. I love this. This is such a trip down memory lane for me, and just a cool, happy thing, right? We need more happiness and smiles in our life, and this is just so cool. So Jessie James Beads has the hookup with these custom designed shell beads, and they're so cool. So these are custom printed. You're not going to find those anywhere else. How cute is that? That's the whole gang. I love it. And it's on both sides. Super cool. The pictures are different on either side, which is awesome. And then you've got the little mystery machines. Oh my gosh. Those are so cute. That's adorable. So cool. And then you've got your bohos with the pops of the electric orange. Colleen, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Those are super, super cool. I love that Jesse James Beads has the opportunity to share with you guys custom bead designs like that. You can't find that anywhere else. And you're certainly not going to go and find a strand of these anywhere because they're exclusive to Jesse James Beads, which is awesome. All right, so now we've got Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The Cabochon Link Set. These are super fun. So I was thinking about these because, like I said, I've got my niece and my nephew who are Scooby-Doo obsessed. And I love that these are connectors, so they're not necessarily a pendant, right? So I can make some stretch bracelets for them if I wanted to, but I could also make like something else. I could do like a keychain for them. I could do like a backpack charm for them. I could do a lot of different things with these. And I think they're really, really going to love them. I'm going to put them together for them for the holidays. I just love it. I think it's super, super cool. And again, this is another custom Jesse James Beads exclusive. You're not going to find these anywhere else. They have the 2-hole on them. So again, you can make it into a bracelet. Stretch bracelets are always a fan favorite, but you could get super intricate and detailed with it if you wanted to. But I'm really feeling like backpack charms on these because kids these days are obsessed with hanging things from their backpacks. And I laugh, but you guys know how much I love dangles on things, right? I'm always adding dangles. So I can totally feel that. I can totally feel that. The ghost one is super cool. I know. I love it. I'm going to make I'm going to make one each for them. And then I'm going to find something to do where I can keep these in my office too. The 2 that I keep for myself, because they're just so dang cool. All right, now let's see. Gosh, we've still got several more things to go. All right, we've got those Meddling Kids tassel mix. Another beautiful color palette here. The tassels that you can use in so many different ways, which is awesome. I love it. So you've got your purple, you've got blue in here. There is brown, these really funky, fun triangle tassels that I really, really love. And you've got your, your black and white, the orange. Like, this is just a fun color palette, a lot of different uses for these. And that's a ton of tassels. So, I mean, even if, let's look for just a second. Let's just assume for a minute that we were going to make earrings out of all of these. Let's do the math. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 pairs of earrings in one little package. 10 pairs of earrings if you turned these into earrings. That's a lot. That's a lot. And you've got all of the beautiful beads that match these, right, in all of the bead mixes, so you can make some really beautiful pieces. Catherine says, I love this box. It's so cool, right? Oh gosh, I can't get over the colors. It just makes me so happy. Really, really does. All right, so next we've got Scooby-Doo Snacks. Oh, not Scooby-Doo, Scooby Snacks Mini Clasp Mix. So yeah, covering all the bases in here. We've even got clasps. So like this whole box, you could create a ton of stuff with, and you don't even have to use your hardware from your own stash, right? If I could get into this, that would be great. All right. Awesome. I love it. I love the toggle clasps, and thanks to Jesse James Beads, I have a beautiful selection of toggles. It's the perfect finishing touch to any of your designs. Oh, and there's also a 2-strand connector clasp in here as well. So there's the antique copper, the antique brass, that beautiful silver with the rose. And then this guy you attached, you can make 2 strands with this, and it slides open, and then you slide it back to close it, which is super, super cool too. So yeah, one of the things that is included in so many of the Magical Mystery Bead Boxes that I love, and it really has helped build my stash, and I have the perfect finishing touches for all of my pieces because I have these really cool clasps to reach for. I know that in a lot of our projects, I always grab for just a standard lobster clasp because it's just quick and easy and it's what I have on my desk. But when I'm making pieces to sell or pieces to give as gifts, I like to use a beautiful clasp. So all right, now we've got the pumpkin bead trio. I love this, and you guys know, like, Halloween is my heart. So even though I'm not getting to do my big Halloween event this year, it doesn't mean that I'm anti-Halloween or anything of that nature. Halloween is every day at my house, even when we're not putting on our event, and these are just the coolest. The huge one makes me extremely happy. What a cool pendant that would be, right? Or again, a backpack charm, or like, because my kids, we do Halloween all year. So like wearing Halloween shirts and Halloween jewelry is something that we do all year. I know not everybody is like that, but you know, if you're done making Halloween jewelry, or if you need a last minute something for Saturday, this is definitely going to fulfill that need for you, or you can get a jump start on next year. These are super fun. I love them. I love them. They're halite, so they are very, very sturdy and super, super strong. So you don't have to worry about them cracking or breaking or anything, even with all of the detail that's in them. So super, super cool. Love them. Love them. Love them. I want to play with the color changing beads again. But I have to stay focused. I have to stay focused. Yeah, high quality pumpkins. You got that right, Wanda, for sure. All right, and then last but not least, you guys, is Chain Reaction. Another staple in the Magical Mystery Bead Boxes, and something that is very much appreciated every single month because I use this so much. And I know a lot of you guys do too. This stuff is the perfect addition to your stash because you can use small pieces of it. You can use the whole thing. You can wear it all by itself. It's gorgeous on its own, but it mixes beautifully with all of your Jessie James beads. And I mean, I grab for Chain Reaction more than I grab for any other chain, just because, like Wanda said about the pumpkins, it is seriously high quality. The metal colors are gorgeous, and it's so fun. It's so fun to have on hand and to grab it. Always has a really cool pop of color. This one's got the blue, and this antique silver one has the bronze. It's really, really beautiful stuff. I love that they have it. I've never seen anything like this anywhere else. So as far as I'm concerned, I would definitely consider this a Jessie James Beads exclusive item, and something that they should be, and I think they are, very, very proud of, because it's so handy and so beautiful all at the same time. Okay, so let's take a look real quick at all of the things together, because it's always amazing to me how much there is in a Magical Mystery Bead Box. Like, it's never a dull box. It's never a skimpy box. Like, there's always so much involved here. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't even think I can fit this all in the screen. Just look at that. Okay, so if we're just talking about the beads alone, not including the pendants or the chain or the clasps or the pumpkins, oh man, like, that's a bunch of beads. You've got beautiful color palettes to work with, right? So maybe even if you weren't a Scooby-Doo fan, like, okay, look at the bead colors. They're gorgeous. You don't have to be a Scooby-Doo fan to appreciate a gorgeous mix of beads that can be used in so many different ways, right? Wanda's reaction to Chain Reaction is always, ooh, Chain Reaction. Me too. That's how I feel about it too. All right, so, oh, and I can't forget the color changing beads. I'm so obsessed with these. I'm obsessed. These are so fabulous. Like, they are just kind of brown, but then like that one's orange, and now this one is green, and it's gonna turn into that awesome blue. I can see the pops of I can't. I could sit here all day and play with those. I won't. I won't, but I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Okay, so let's do a design on the fly. I'm going to keep it simple and kind of quick, okay? I'm not going to keep you guys here forever. Let's put together a pair of earrings. I really want to use this purple mix, the Daphne. It was Daphne that was purple, right? I do want to use the purple just because it really spoke to me first. out of all of them. That's not to say that I don't love all of the rest, because I absolutely do, but I want to focus on the purple just because I've had purple on my mind recently. So let's play, shall we? I'm going to dump this one out, and oh, that's not what I wanted. What I wanted was this. All the different plates and bowls I have around here, you would think it's a kitchen. It totally isn't. Me too, Joan. I'd put those in a bracelet. Yeah, or a ring, like a wire wrapped ring. That would be so fun. Like, I know that's pretty classic, like a mood ring, but still, just the fact that you did it yourself, I don't know, something about that just makes it really fun. Nicole says you can't go wrong with purple. I totally agree. You cannot go wrong with purple. I need more purple in my life. So I think this is what we are going to use. And what I had in mind was some hoop earrings where we wire wrap around the edge, make a little nest around all of them, because I don't know that we've done that here. I know that I've done the little nesting over on Sara Ellis Designs, but I don't know that we've done it here. And then I want to take a bead. I think these will do. So these little guys, they're a rondelle. They're kind of different shape, right? They're not faceted. It's just a non-faceted rondelle. I think we're going to turn this into a connector, which is something we've not ever done before either. So even if you don't dig the earrings, hopefully I'm going to give you some creativity that you can use in other ways, as always. All right, so let's grab, I'm going to use some 18 gauge wire to make our component for our earring. And I'm going to need about 4 inches of this, and we're going to use the artistic wire mandrel tool. So this totally is on the fly, because I haven't even cut my pieces of wire yet. So we're going to cut this at 4 inches. Okay. And oh, I'm going to need the bell making pliers too. Hold on. I'm going to have to grab those. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry, I had to disconnect from the microphone to grab those. So what I'm gonna do now, after I attach my microphone back, okay, we're gonna take our 4-inch piece of 18 gauge wire, and we're gonna do a loop on either end. Excuse me, and I'm gonna use the small bell making pliers for this, just so that I know that they're consistent and they're the same size on either side. I'm going to use the small mandrel. I'm going to just grab the end of the wire and turn a loop on one end. So I've got a loop here, and I'm going to turn another loop on the other end. Same thing. So they're just kind of facing each other. If they're not facing each other, you can turn them with your fingers and make them do what you want them to do. Let me grab some tools here. I had everything moved out of the way so that I could unbox, and now I can't reach anything. Okay, so now I'm going to use the artistic wire mandrel tool to make the hoop section. I'm going to use the largest section of the tool, which is down here on the bottom. I'm just going to place that wire in the center and then guide it around to create our round shape. Okay. So there's our nice little round shape. Now I want to turn my loops. My loops are facing towards the back, and I want them facing to the side. So I'm just going to grab them and give them a twist with my pliers, just very gently. Do the same thing to the other one. So now those loops are where I want them. If I feel like it's kind of come out of shape, I can put it back onto the mandrel. Okay, now to keep that shape, I'm going to put this on the block really quickly, and we're going to work hard on it. It's 18 gauge wire, so it is a sturdy wire, but just to be sure that we don't lose this shape as we're wire wrapping around it, I'm going to hit this with my nylon hammer to work harden it. And I'm going to do both sides. Whoops. Now I don't know which side was which. It's all right. I just really want to throw that in the floor. Just kidding. I really want to preserve that shape. I did throw it in the floor though, so give me a second. I gotta grab it. Okay. I do want to preserve that shape, and as I'm working, as I add the beads to the outside edge of this, it may come out of shape a little bit, and that's okay, because until we actually do the connection here in the center, I can always put it back on the mandrel and kind of coax it back into the shape. So that's no problem. Yeah, 4 inches was how long this piece of 18 gauge wire was. Now I'm going to grab a piece of 24 gauge wire to do the wire wrapping with, and I'm going to grab about 30 inches of this. Okay, I want to be sure that I've got plenty. It takes more than you think when you're doing the little nests. So make sure you get plenty of the 24 gauge wire. 30 to 36 inches is going to be plenty. Stephanie says, will a rubber hammer work too? Yes, it absolutely will. All you want is just something that is going to work harden it and not flatten it. So you don't want to use like a chasing hammer unless you want it to be textured and flat. All right, so now I'm going to take the tail end of my 24 gauge wire, and I'm just going to anchor this to the component, giving myself a little bit of a tail here. So I'm just going to wire wrap around about 3 or 4 times. Okay. Now I'm going to add a bead to this. We've done this part several times. Just the standard dropping a bead down onto the edge of a component. It's the nesting part. I really don't know if we've done that here or not. It's so hard for me to keep up with all of it because we have done so many projects. So when I drop a bead down, I want that to come up to the edge of the component. And sorry, I've got a fuzzy on my nose. This is tickling me. Now I want to lay that bead up against the component, and then I'm going to take the wire, right? It was coming up this way, going through the bead, and now I'm going to the back. So I'm following the exact same path of that the wire was already going in. I haven't really changed the path. So I'm not on the front and then on the front. I'm front and then back. You see what I mean? All right, so I'm going to wrap around once to lock that bead in place. Okay, now I'm coming up here in front or next to the bead. Now I'm going to take the wire and I'm going to wrap around the base of the bead. Okay, so there's once all the way around, and I'm going to go around that bead probably 3 or 4 times. I mean, this is a little tiny bead, so I did start with a really small bead. So I don't have a whole lot of space to make a nest. But see how it looks like a little bird's nest? It looks like a little egg just sitting in a wire wrapped bird's nest. That's exactly what I want. Okay, now I'm going to wrap around the component again. Okay, I want a couple of wire wraps in between before I add another bead. But now you can see how that's going to sit right on the outside. So if you have earrings that are turned this direction, you're going to get all that color, or you're going to get the pop of color and that cool wire effect as well. Okay, I'm going to do 2 of the little small purple beads. And then we're gonna change the beads up a little bit and get a little bit bigger as we go. Okay, dropping that one down. Okay, so same thing. I want to kind of sit the bead, and you do kind of have to wiggle the wire a little bit to get it to sit in the position that you want. Okay, I'm going to wrap around the component once just to make sure that that bead's not going to go anywhere. And now I'm going to wrap around the bead itself. And it doesn't matter if you go front to back or back to front. I always tend to wrap to the back first and then around to the front. Ringing the bell. Okay, so there's our second one. Gosh, those little beads are pretty. Okay, I'm going to wrap around a couple times. Now I'm ready to add another bead. The wrapping around in between there is just to help kind of space the beads out. Okay, must follow the tutorial. Drop the bead. You have to drop the component in the floor. That's what you got to do. All right, now I'm going to go up a size. I love that bead. Oh, that's so pretty. It's like a purple, pink, blue. It's just really cool. Drop that one down. Okay. And then kind of fix the wire so that the bead sits exactly like you want it to, right up against the component. Okay. Wrap around once to lock it in place, and then back up here to the front. And then again, we're going to go around the bead and just kind of build a little nest or a little base, however you want to. Okay, go around 3 or 4 times. And then again, wrapping around. And you notice how I'm kind of sliding them over? It's because I want there to be room for more beads. I'm going to put one of those cool green beads right in the center. And I'm not quite ready. Am I ready for the green bead already? No, I think I'm going to add one more of these. But I want that green bead to be in the center. So until I get to the center, I can still very gently kind of wiggle the entire group of beads up to where I want them to be. So they're not stationary. I haven't completely locked those into place yet. Okay, so I'm going to drop down one more of these really cool kind of galactic purple, if you will. Okay, kind of bending the wire to lock that bead in place. Wrap around once, come back up. Okay, and now I'm going to wrap around it. You know, now that I think about it, I think we did a bracelet. I know that over on Sara Ellis Designs, we did a memory wire bracelet with some of these little bead bundles, but if memory serves me correctly, I think we did a bracelet here on Jesse James Beads, and it's been a while. It was when the multicolor wire came out with the bead mixes that matched, and we did a bangle bracelet with the with this same kind of nesting technique for the beads, if you will. So that just came to me. If you want to see another project doing this exact same technique, but not as an earring, there is that project. So you could probably look back on the Jesse James Beads blog to find that one. I can't remember the name of the bead mix, but yeah, I think that's the only time though that we've done this kind of technique. So it's really cool to see it on an earring. All right, so this is the biggest bead. Okay, just kind of playing with the wire a little bit. I want to, that's the good part about using the 24 gauge wires. It's so easy to manipulate. You can really put that bead where you want it to be and move that wire around. So that's going to be our center bead. And again, I'm going to bundle around a few times here. Just a little like that. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap around a couple of times. Pinch those in. All right, now I can really kind of look at the placement because I want that green bead to be in the center. It's a little off center at the moment. So I'm going to kind of wiggle my beads and get them right where I want them to go. Now that green bead is right there in the center. So now I know that the next side that we go up, everything is going to be nice and evenly spaced, and I don't have to worry about it wiggling around too much. I'm also going to come back up here to my tail, and I'm just going to wrap around some more just to finish off, filling in that spot between the wire wraps or our bead and our loop. And now I can go ahead and trim that off. So now that tail is out of the way. Okay. All right. So now I just want to repeat the pattern and come up the other side of the earring, and then we'll do a little connector here in the middle. Oh my gosh, Sylvia, that is so cool. You guys, read Sylvia's comment. That was awesome. That's so cool. Okay, next bead. I'm going to wiggle, place it where you want it, and then bundle around. And the cool thing about the bundling around is that it can be messy. So for those of you who are, you know, not super confident in your wire wraps and you feel like they're messy, this is a great one to be like, embrace your messy, right? Embrace those messy wire wraps. Whoops. Bead in the floor, bead in the floor. I'm just gonna have to pick up another one. All right, dropping this one down. Okay, put it right where I want it, wrap it around, and then we're gonna bundle around it. I'm starting to get a little low on wire. So my 30 inches was definitely plenty. A lot of times, guys, you know, I always have way more wire than I needed. You're going to need every bit of 30 inches to 36 inches, depending on how many times around you want to wrap around those beads. So don't skimp on the wire with this project. Okay, I'm going to round this little purple bead. All right, we've got one more bead to add. Look how fun that is. I really like that. I really like the way that that looks, and I feel like this is such a versatile design because there's so many different things you can do with this after we get all the beads on here, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. But let me go ahead and get this last bead locked into place, wrap around. And just filling in between the bead and, right? Jessica, that used to be me. That's why now my measurements, I kind of threw measuring out the window, and I always have more wire than I need because it can be so frustrating to run out, you know, particularly in a design like this where you know you can add on, but you want to make it look as seamless as possible. And sometimes that can be really, really frustrating. So I totally feel you on that. Okay, so at this point we've got a hoop, and we can do whatever we want to with this. I'm going to make earrings out of it, but honestly, you can make a pendant out of this. You could wear it this direction. You could wear it this direction, right? If you made an earring out of it, you could wear it either direction, and you're still going to get those beautiful pops of color. We're going to do a little connection here in the middle because I want to put that deep purple bead in there. I love that color. It's just so, so pretty. So that's what we're going to do, but you could put one of the bubble balls here in the middle if you wanted to. You could pick completely different beads to go around the edge if you wanted to. The little nesting, you can add a row of seed beads. So just pop a few seed beads on there and nest around each bead with some seed beads. So this little technique, though fairly straightforward, can be used in so many different ways, guys. You totally can do a ton of different things with this. It's just one way to use this. And I really think this would be an amazing looking pendant with something really cool here in the middle if you were not feeling earrings with this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that bead, I didn't realize it had such a large hole. So we're gonna do our own little knotted head pin for this guy. So I need a piece of 22 gauge wire for that. And then we're going to use one of these guys, this little rondelle, and let's make a connector out of it, which I don't think we've ever done. I'm going to use another piece of 24 gauge wire because that's what I have right here. I'm going to take about, I don't know, about 12 inches. That's probably let's go with 10 inches. What I have is more than 10 inches. Another bit of the 24 gauge wire here. And I'm going to show you, you know how we do a wrapped loop on either side of a bead. Sometimes when you do that, you've got a wrapped loop on either side, but it would be cool if you had an extra loop. I'm going to show you how to do a third loop so that you can take a bead and turn it into a connector for three, you know, it'll have 3 loops. So we're going to kind of start this out the exact same way that we would a regular wrapped loop, but I'm going to come down on the wire a little bit. So I'm going to give myself about 2.5, maybe 3 inches. That's probably excessive, but it's better to, just like we said, have more than not enough. So I'm going to bend the wire, okay, just like, whoa, we normally would. And then I'm going to come in with the round nose pliers, and we're going to do just a regular wrapped loop here. Actually, okay. And I'm going to loop twice. Sometimes I do that with the 24 gauge wire where I make the loop and I'll loop it twice. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It just reinforces that loop. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to wire wrap about 3 times. I'm not huffing. I'm out of breath. Don't think that I'm annoyed. I realized how loud that was and I was like, okay, so I've got myself about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of tail here. I'm going to leave that. And actually, you know what? I'm afraid that's not going to be quite enough. Let's do this again. We need a good 2.5 inches here. And I'm really afraid that that's just not going to be long enough for what I want to do. So let's try again. That's why it's designed on the fly, guys. All right. So now I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down even further this time. Giving myself, that's almost 4 inches. It's got to be. All right. So let's try again. I'm going to go up and over the top barrel of the pliers. I'm going to open the pliers up and I'm going to go around them again, just so that I double that loop. You don't have to do that part. Okay. Now I'm going to wire wrap, right, about 3 times, and there, that's a little bit longer of a tail than what we had. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to use my bead as a measurement, and that was just a practice loop. You're right, Wanda. I'm going to thread my bead on. Okay, I'm going to drop it all the way down right next to the wrapped loops that we made. Now I want to bend the wire over the edge of the bead. Okay, so now when I take the bead away, let's move this too, so there's nothing else. See what I did? So I slid the bead on, bent the wire, and now the wire, that tail piece is running this direction, right? Now what I want to do is I want to use this wire to make another wrapped loop. I'll show you. So where the wire bends, okay, I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. Okay. And I'm pretty close to right there where that bend is, right? I'm going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers, roll the pliers out of the way, and take that all the way over to the other side, coming just straight out. Now I'm going to take that off of the pliers. We've got a loop here. Now I'm not going to do a wrapped loop because I've got to put the bead back on there, but we have a loop, right? So I'm going to slide the bead back on. Now see that loop is going to sit, well, it's off just a tiny, tiny bit, but for the most part, it's going to sit. It should sit fairly centered on that bead. Okay. Hold on to all of it and then go ahead and bend your wire so that it's going to bend around the other side of the bead. Yeah. And then you just want to wrap it around that straight wire just once to just kind of lock it in place. Now you can see daylight between my bead and the wire. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm going to trim off this tail. We don't need it. I had way more wire than I needed. You do not need 10 inches of wire for this. I feel like we're going to use some of this, but definitely not all of it. Okay. Now I'm just going to proceed as normal with a wrapped loop here. So I'm going to come in with my pliers, bend my wire. Okay. Wanda says that's witchcraft. It's just to show you that you can literally do anything with wire. All right, so up and over, I'm going to wrap around, and I'm going to wrap around twice just so that these two on either ends are doubled. Okay. All right, now I'm going to wire wrap. Okay. Now, you can leave it like this if you want to, right? Or you can messy wrap over. You can messy wrap over and messy wrap, and you know, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So you can see, okay, so you can just go ahead and trim off your tail if you want to and be done with it, right? And now you've got a 3-loop connector. Or put it back on the pliers, okay, and use the rest of your wire to kind of messy wrapped around, and then go back up here to the top. I'm just kind of following the same path. I'm going to messy wrap around that loop. Yeah, just like so. Yeah. Down the side again, and then messy wrap around these guys. So, I mean, you don't have to make it messy if you don't want to, but just to use up that extra wire, and then it kind of makes it match a little bit better because we've got these messy kind of wire bundles. Now we've got this messy kind of component too, but that's up to you. That's Wanda says, Sara Ellis, you just blew my mind. I'm going to need a minute. That's so funny. But it's true, you guys. You can make literally anything with wire. It doesn't matter what it is. If you need it, you just play around with it until you come up with what you need, right? So now we have a little messy wrapped component. It doesn't have to be, but I mean, whatever. Now I just want to use this as my connection here in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to hang a bead from it. Let's do that first. I'm going to wire wrap my bead. So I'm going to do my knotted head pin for my beautiful purple bead here. Okay, so I've got a piece of 22 gauge wire. I'm going to wrap around the tip of my round nose pliers once, twice, bend my wire out this direction. Okay, now I'm going to take the tail end of that wire, stick it back through, make our little lasso. Now we need our nylon jaw pliers. We're going to grab the wire right next to those 2 little coils and pull. And that's going to pull a little rosette knot into our wire, and that's going to be big enough to hold our purple bead because it does have a larger hole. Originally I was thinking I would grab a head pin, but the hole on that one is a little bigger, so it needs a substantial knot down here on the bottom. All right, so I'm going to wire wrap this guy with a wrapped loop, but I'm going to wire wrap it directly to our little component. So I'm going up and over, taking the wire on over to the other side. Now, before I do the wire wraps, I'm going to take the tail end of that wire and stick it through that bottom loop on our little component and just pop those 2 together. And I'm going to grab with my bent chain nose pliers and just kind of messy wrap on that one too, right? Just keep that messy wrap theme going the whole way through. All right, so now we've got this. You're so welcome. I'm so glad that you guys like that little. I mean, it's just a little dude, but I'm so glad you like it. Let me grab some jump rings here. That makes me really happy. I like it when I can show you something and you're like, oh, that was just what I needed. Oh gosh, Wanda, you are cracking me up. All right, so now I'm going to attach this. So I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring and put it on one loop on one side, and I'm going to hook it to the loop on our component. Maybe if I can see, tiny little jump ring kind of gets lost in what I'm doing here. Goodness gracious. Okay. Goodness gracious. Yes, I am using my filter today. So you're getting a goodness gracious out of me. That's funny. Okay, now I'm going to attach those back. Just close that. And now I'm going to attach it with a 4mm jump ring on the other side too. And then we need to just kind of figure out how much space we need before we attach an ear wire. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to need maybe a couple of jump rings. I don't know. So that's what we've got. Uh-oh. No, that jump ring is on there wrong. So this is what we're going to have, but then we need to figure out a way to attach an ear wire to this. Oh, goodness. All right. Now behave, please. Little jump ring. That is still... Oh, goodness. Of all the things to have trouble with today, it's the jump rings that are giving me fits. And I did it again. I put it on there the wrong way again. Okay, this time I'm just going to open the loop. No more struggling with this. This is so silly. Just need you to hang in the right direction. That's all. You can hear my southern coming out when I get frustrated. Can you hear that? I've given you a goodness gracious and a southern draw. Come on. Just want to coax it on there. There we go. I got it that time. That jump ring has got to be going the correct direction in order to make that hang the way you want it to. And it was definitely giving me a little bit of trouble. Okay, so I just want a little connection here. You could use a couple pieces of chain if you wanted to. Just keep in mind that any kind of extra that you add here is going to add extra length to this. And we've already got kind of a big, bold earring. That being said, as always, guys, when it comes to excuse me, when it comes to the earrings, we always make big earrings because they obviously look really good on Facebook Live. They translate really well. The bigger the project, the easier it is for you to see all of the techniques that are involved. But I do realize that large projects, large earrings in particular, are not everybody's favorite. So if you, looking for an ear wire, guys. If you want to size this down, you absolutely can do that. You don't have to make your loop nearly as big. As always, you can do a smaller loop. You've got all of these choices on your mandrel tool or whatever you're using. And so you can make it smaller. You can use less beads. You know, you can really change it and customize it for you or your clientele, right? All right, so I'm going to just use some 6mm jump rings here. We may have to use more than 3. We'll find out. So I'm just adding a 6mm jump ring to those guys. Looks like maybe we might need a 4. I don't know. Let's try it and see. I'm afraid it's going to be a little too tight. But again, that's why it's designed on the fly. We got to figure it out as we go, and that's part of the fun. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. Not enough. So let's use some more 4s. Okay, I'm gonna add a 4. I don't want to add a 6. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay, hold on. Now, can we do a 6 now? Let's see. Try it and find out. So I'm going to hook to this 4 and hook to this 4. That is still not... still just not quite enough. I mean, I guess it's okay. What do you guys think? What I'm looking for is, see the spacing between here? I just want it to have a good drop. And I guess that's, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like enough room. Let's take the 4s off, make them 6s, hook it together, and call it a day. I get hung up on the smallest little aspects of things, which is why design on the fly is always really stressful for me, because I know that about myself. I can be a real perfectionist with things, and I don't want to like bore you with me being indecisive, making jewelry design choices, you know. I feel like it can be helpful to some people, but to other people it might just be like putting you to sleep. So I don't really know. Okay, let's try it with a 6. Yeah, I think another 4 on each side probably would have done it too. And that's why I say you can use little pieces of chain here. That always really helps there. That's a better amount of space there. I'm not a super huge fan of all 6mm jump rings, but we're going to leave it like it is, and I may do what Sherry suggested and add 4s to that instead at the end here. But just so we can call it done, it looks pretty good. So there's our earring, guys. And again, could be a pendant, could be whatever you wanted it to be. It does not have to be a pair of earrings. I really, I'm kind of tickled that you guys like the little 3-ring or the 3-loop connector here. I hope that you practice that one and have fun with it, because you can use that in so many different ways. Multi-strand designs. I mean, if you need connectors and you don't have them, you just make your own, right? So the question is, are leverback or leverback, however you want to say it, are they my favorite? They're probably the most comfortable for me. It's not necessarily that I love the way that they look, but as far as like for me personally, how they feel in my ear, these and the large kidneys are the most comfortable to wear. And I find that my customers kind of feel that way too. If I make a pair of earrings that don't have the lever backs, they ask for them, and I'm more than happy to oblige. But then my other favorite earring or ear wire is the one that I make myself. It also is very, very comfortable. I would do that one for you right now, but I don't have the stuff on hand right here to do it. But it's another very comfortable style. I'm just kind of picky when it comes to, you know, how my earrings wear. All right, I'm gonna turn you guys around. Just knocked a light over. It's this mess. You would not believe the disaster that I have around me right now. Like doing the unboxing and then making jewelry on top of it. Like there's a huge mess here. All right, so let me take these out and I'll show you. Ricky says, do I make my own jump rings? And if so, what gauge wire? So 18 gauge wire is kind of my go-to for jump rings. I don't normally make my own just because I do if, ooh, those are pretty. Those are really pretty. That color. That's fabulous. So as far as jump rings go, unless I'm using a color of wire that I don't have already made, like prefab jump rings to match, I will make my own. If I need a custom size in a jump ring, I will make my own. The only reason that I don't is just because you can get jump rings, you know, by the bundle, and they're usually really good quality. The only problem with making your own, if you don't have the right kind of cutter tool, you end up having to saw through them, or you end up having to sand them. And to me, that just, sometimes it's not worth all that trouble. And I skip that step a lot of times. You know, I'll skip the step of sawing through them, and I'll cut them with the cutter tool, and they don't always cut the correct way. So I'm not discouraging anybody from making their own jump rings. It's just that unless I need a custom color or size, I really just buy them in bulk and have them on hand. It just kind of makes my life easier. But that's not to say that there's not a place for handmade jump rings, because there is. And I have tons of respect for people who make their own. It's just an added something that, you know, it's like make jump rings or take a nap. Or eat a snack. Guess what I choose? Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm so glad you like these, guys. Thank you so much. I think they turned out really well. Again, it's, you know, the wraparound technique. We did it on a bracelet. It's been a minute. You guys have slept since then. So have I. So maybe revisiting that one is... you know, is good because you can use it in so many different ways. But then the 3-loop connector, I hope that's what you take away from this more than anything, because you can use that connector in a multitude of ways in your designs. And I feel like it's just kind of a little handy trick to have in your jewelry making technique bag if you will. And if you have trouble with it, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. You know, I'm more than happy to help you. I realized that was on the fly, so I kind of went through that part kind of quickly. If you need to see it again, just let me know. And the good thing is that you can, you know, watch the replay over and over again. It does get moved over to the Jessie James Beads blog and YouTube, so you can rewatch it there as well if you need to see it again. But don't hesitate to ask me questions if you've got questions, guys. All right, that is it for me today, but that is not it for me this week. You will not get rid of me that easily, my friends. You can catch me tomorrow at 11 a.m. That's Eastern time. Set your reminders for that. I've got a project for you guys. We're actually doing a 2-for-1 tomorrow. So we are making a bracelet with some matching earrings, and neither one of them are super hard. But if you liked today's 3-loop little connector out of wire, just a quick and easy thing you can do, that's what tomorrow's project is all about. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you how to make your own toggle tomorrow out of wire. We're going to make a toggle clasp, and I'm going to show you another little trick. Super easy things that you can do yourself with wire if you're ever in a pinch and you need custom findings, right? So that's what we're doing tomorrow with beautiful beads, might I add. Guys, it's What's New Wednesday. What's New Wednesday? So keep an eye on your inboxes. Keep an eye on the Jessie James Beads website, because there are brand new, beautiful things coming your way, and we're going to play with them tomorrow morning. So be ready. I will see you guys then. All right, guys. I feel like I've missed some comments, but I'll try to roll back and get them here at the end. All right. Bye, guys. I will see you tomorrow.